Welcome back to the channel, everyone. This is No Dust here. We're going to do some more budget Shaman lettering. Again, no epic, legendary, or adventure cards. Let's head into game. Now, let's just double check, because last video I was playing with a list that was not up to date. Let's make sure this list has fire elementals. Okay, good to go. All right. So let's queue up, and I will see you, if it's not designed to go slow, in the mulligan. Okay, this is a very slow mulligan, so let's throw that all back. Yeah, now I was just thinking about the, just everyone's talking about standard these days, and I was just thinking about what I intend to do to pass the time between now and then. Obviously, I'll be doing this series, and once standard rolls over, we'll be moving into another series. I mean, we'll be moving into the standard format. Do I coin out the Knife Juggler? It loses to Winax and Cursed Blade if he is running it. Do I want to test? No, it's much better for me to coin out the Scarlet Crusader. Let's pass. The Scarlet Crusader gives the warrior a lot more trouble. So yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Do I still want to coin out the Crusader? Because now the Armor Smith deals quite neatly with the Crusader. Let's hold the coin, because it's going to take... the Armor Smith doesn't challenge the Knife Juggler itself. It's probably going to get buffed up by a Cruel Task. I'm sensing a Control Warrior here. So yeah, so he did have... my opponent did have a War Axe in hand, so there it is. Do we coin out a Dark Iron? Dark Iron requires both of these to be traded in, whereas the Scarlet leaves the Armor Smith up. If I coin out the Dark Iron, what's my turn for? Probably Lightning Bolt and Scarlet. Okay, let's do that. Yeah, so I was just wondering what you guys intend to do to pass the time till the next expansion. Because I remember, and I'll put a link in the show notes, there was a Ben Brode interview, or he did a little video on releasing and timing new content, and he was talking about if you announce content too early, people get annoyed because it doesn't arrive soon enough. And I'm really seeing a lot of that online, actually. People getting annoyed that the content isn't here right now, because you know, a lot of, I have to admit, I get a little bit of this as well. You know, in the internet-based world we live in, of, you know, instant gratification. I want it now. I'm going to watch it now. I can stream Netflix. I can go on YouTube to find something I want to see. I'm getting everything I want right now. Even books I can get off the Kindle store, etc., etc. So there are certainly risks to a company pre-announcing things and then not actually giving a timeline. That's the thing that I'm concerned about. What is the timeline? It's the timeline for standard and the next expansion. Like, what was Blizzard? How to say it? Yeah, what were they intending to achieve? I think this is the only play I have, and it's fairly good. What was Blizzard? What were the Hearthstone devs intending to achieve by announcing standards so early? Why didn't they hold it for a little bit longer? Is this just to fill a void in content releases? I don't know. Because I would highly recommend you guys go and watch that Ben Brode video on releasing new content, and there will be a link in the show notes again. So what was I going to say? It does become problematic after a while. Do I want to hex? Do I want to hex the Azure Drake? Neither of them. The Thunderbluff is actually a decent play. I think the Thunderbluff is fine here. The hex on the Azure Drake is a little bit overkill, and this is a dragon warrior. Apologies, I haven't been really watching the game so closely, but we did see Alex Straz as champion, so there's going to be big dragons in the hand. Okay, and there's the Gorehowl. That's a little bit unfortunate. But, these things happen. Okay, that's going to prove to be very problematic for anything that I play right now. So, what do we want to do? Do I want to draw into something? Do I want to totem up to try for the Taunt Totem? Now, if I find the Taunt Totem, does that mean I want to hex the Azure Drake? I wonder. Or I could just get value from the heal bot, but then the heal bot goes down to either the weapon or the Drake. Is my health low enough for me to need to worry about that? Now, it being turn 7, yeah, let's totem up first. I'm pretty much going to totem. I don't want to waste the knife juggler. Okay, that's interesting. Let's see what there is a possibility that he won't spend the Gore Howl on my totem, which means I can use the totem. I can buff the totem to clear whatever is remaining. Okay, so that's the line of play. He's going to use the Gore Howl to tank that 3 damage instead. Oh, you're going to leave it up. Interesting. You're going to leave the totem up. I wonder if that's... I don't know if I would have made that play. I think I would have definitely cleared a totem against the Shaman. And yep, so we have a very interesting situation here. Now, the question is, do I want to Knife Juggler to get some of that value? So I can actually abusive, get a free clear on the 1/4, but is that too slow? Abusive, free clear on the 1/4, and then Hex the Drake. And that gives me enough to totem up again. Okay, let's do that. He doesn't have a whirlwind effect that I can see. Now, do we need to hex the Drake? Let's see what comes out of the totem first. That's actually not bad. Let's hex the Drake. So this will actually protect my entire board. This taunt totem is going to do a lot of work against Gore Howl. Attacking away a 4-attack charge, and unless he's got some other way of dealing with it in hand. The double abusive was pretty lucky there. Unfortunately, I was forced to blow the hex, but okay. So what? Are you going to cruel task execute this thing or double? Oh no, I'm sensing a whirlwind effect incoming. Yep, there it is. What sort of list is this? I wonder. Okay, I mean he's definitely control warrior, but in terms of what else there is, now let's start throwing some knives. Yeah. Let's start throwing some knives and drawing some cards. Ooh, the lightning storm will actually come in handy. And I would really like it if you threw a knife. I think my machine is... my Hearthstone client is... on the fritz. Oh, that was a really nice knife. Okay. Now, we'd be very, very lucky to get another taunt. Oh, well, you know, that's good. That's so-so. Yeah, I don't know. My computer's been... I think it's time to get a new machine. I think I've had this machine for about 3 years. Actually, no, probably closer to 4 to 5 years. It probably is time to upgrade. So it looks like I'll have to be on the market for something like that. Okay, now we're still quite considerably behind. The issue is the Gore Howl. I don't have any weapon removal on this list. I don't have an Ooze. Now, the Ooze would have done a lot of work, but you know, it doesn't work out that way. I think we're going to have to go for the lightning, Storming Champ Lightning Storm play. Okay. And hopefully we roll high on at least one of these guys. Okay, that was good. We rolled high on both. That was actually really, really good. Now, the Gore Howl doesn't challenge the Stormwind Champ, so we actually have sort of stabilized. If I can pull out something, I mean, we spent our Argus, so we're looking for lucky... we're looking for a Sunwalker. We're looking for Taunt Totems and Sunwalkers. That will do a lot of work for me. Now, you should have armored up first. Yeah, if you'd have done the draw first, you would have gotten a bigger frothing, and that might have determined the game. Yeah, but definitely this Gore Howl getting full value, really, really not good. Now I can actually silence this and not actually take any damage on my minions, because I can burn and it'll heal everything. That's one of the cool things about having Pyro in a Shaman list. If you are lucky enough to have a healing totem, that burn effect essentially does nothing to your board. I mean, unless you have a Searing as well. But the majority of your totems will survive the burn effect. Okay, are we still dead? There might be some sort of charge in hand. Yeah, we might still be dead. I think it's just the Gore Howl from the Warrior this game. Way too much value. I might consider running weapon removal. Question mark? Yeah, consider running weapon removal. Now, we do have a second Hex in the list. It's not quite over. I can still Drake into the Hex. So let's see what we can find. Now, that's not quite enough. But I can still... no, I can't. The totem won't save me. No, and we didn't get the totem anyway. Okay, that's done. Yeah, too much... there was a lot of value from the Gorehowl, and there's not much I can do about that aside from running weapon removal. And I mean, there is merit to running weapon removal. I probably could lose a bomber, lose a mad bomber. Now that I have 2 abusives, I could probably take out a mad bomber for a Ooze. So I'll think about that. Consider subbing in an Ooze versus high value weapons, because I mean that is the straight up counter to Gorehowl is Ooze. Okay, that's fine. You know, we've still got to do some quests. Okay, let's hop into game 2. Okay, Warlock. I don't think I need to Earthshock anything against the Warlock. I don't think I need that. I think the Scarlet's too slow. Let's look for some other early game. Okay, not so lucky, but that's okay. A Shaman can always totem up. Well, here we are. So this is not bad. Now, do I want to expose this to the Mortal Coil? I think trading an abusive for a Mortal Coil is fine. I mean, this is one of the least... I mean, it's very useful for me in the late game, but it's not super useful for me in the early game. I don't care if it gets... I don't really care if it gets Mortal Coil. What are you coining out? A 2-3? A Flame Juggler? Okay. That would have been interesting. Now the knives. I think we do go for the knives. And I'm going to leave the spider up. I want him to have to split the spider on his turn. One of the good things, and I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but one of the things you can do against death rattle minions is if you can afford to, let the owner trigger the death rattles. Because if he triggers it, it doesn't... Ah, that's annoying. Actually, no, that's actually really good. And I won't spend the abusive. I can save that for reach on... actually, there's probably would have been merit to spending the abusive. But, I mean, just developing the abusive. I would have still cleared a spider. But just having an extra 2-1 on the board, that might have made a difference. Maybe, maybe not. It's hard to say. Okay. Now, I think I'm tempted to leave the zombie chow up. Let's see where the knives go. Now, there is a play here where I could trade into the spider, Dark Iron the totem. Yeah, let's do that. I can Dark Iron the healing totem, and if I get a lucky juggle onto the zombie chow... Okay, that didn't really work out. But that's fine. So, the really good outcome would have been knife onto the zombie chow, and then free clear with the totem. But it didn't happen. That's fine. I think my opponent is basically forced to trade the zombie chow into my knife juggler because it's just so much value. And we are good to go. Now that eerie statue, I'm sensing some sort of silence effect. Now I don't need to clear it right now. I'll wait until it's silenced to clear it, or some sort of Argus effect. Now we can deal with that with the Earthshock, although that will allow the statue to attack if we do silence it. So I probably will have to clear it at some point. Interesting. First time I've seen eerie statue in ladder play. Okay, there it is. There's the owl. Now you didn't need to do that. I think I would have waited. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yes, it was, because we have a very nice... Yep. I think I'm lightning storming here, and then probably totem. Lightning storm, totem, abusive. I don't think I need to even use the abusive. I just save my... I'm just going to save my resources. Although I will be I will be overcharged. I mean, sorry. I was tempted to say overdrawn, but that's a banking term. Overloaded next turn. I'll be at 5 mana. What am I going to do on 5 mana? I can still shredder abusive, so that's fine. Yeah. Let's hold on to that. Yeah, I think that you didn't need to do both. You save the owl for after... Because the taunt itself is fine. Okay, so this is a molten. And that's probably going to get taunted as well. Okay, that's fine because we do have the Earthshock. Do we still develop Shredder? I'm sensing some sort of heal in this list. I'm feeling that there's going to be a heal. Actually, if we Pyro... This will deal 3 damage, 4 damage with the Pyro, and I don't take any negative effects by pyroing it out. So this will actually go up to dealing 5 damage to the Molten Giant. That's actually not bad. So let's develop the Pyro. and it will deal 5 damage. And we can actually clear, but I think I want to totem up. If we get a taunt totem, excellent. Now I can get a very efficient, I can very efficiently block the Molten Giant. And we're still very vulnerable to something like Shadow Flame, but he's going to spend 4 of his mana on turn 7 to do it, so that's not too bad. And it'll destroy the Molten Giant. So I think that was a correct play. I could have gone more aggressive, but hard to say sometimes against a list like this. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there was Reno in this list, and I wouldn't be surprised if there were a couple of heal bots in this list. Yeah, so tap heal bot, that's what I would be expecting. Okay, Sea Giant. Alright, I think we're done. Not quite, actually. No, we're one damage off. No, we're not. Okay. Yeah, so Shaman's Reach comes to save the day, and we are not 1 damage off. And you really needed to heal up that turn. Okay, so we're going to go into game 2. Game 3, sorry. So that was game 2. And I would like to be back at rank 18 by the end of this video. Let's go again. Okay, this is a decent hand. I think I can throw the Direwolf back. I think I can throw the Direwolf back to look for 1 drops and possibly 3 drops. The coin with the Pyro is going to be really useful against an eventual Unleash combo. I think Unleash is a very, very big card against... it's a very big Hunter card that's used against Shamans. Okay, aggro Hunter. I think we just challenge with the Abusive. I can Pyro coin next turn if somehow he I think so. Yeah. Okay, no, so he's just going to go and hit face. That's fine. We have the surprise heal from the Earthen Ring, and we do have a heal bot in this list. The thing we are missing against hunters, aggro hunters in general, is weapon destruction, and would really like an Ooze, so I'm just going to keep thinking about that. Okay. Now, do I want to expose a Knife Juggler to draw fire? I think so. I think toteming is too passive. I think I want to expose the Knife Juggler to tempt him into using, say, an Eagle Horn Bow on the Knife Juggler. Pardon me? Or that. That's fine too. I will take that. That's 2 damage that doesn't go to my face. I wasn't likely to get too much value out of the Knife Juggler anyway at this point. Okay, what is that? Either way, we're playing the Earthen Ring Farseer into that because it challenges both the Explosive Trap and the Freezing Trap. Oh, Snipe. Interesting. It's still fine. Still fine because the Snipe on this, I still get the Battlecry value out of it. With a little awkward in terms of what I'm doing next turn. The Dark Iron isn't great, but then I can coin out the Fire Ellie. Sort of a weird secrets list is. I'll be quiet. Is this another Snipe? Would you run 2 Snipe? I'm going to hedge and say you wouldn't run 2 Snipe. Good. It's not. You wouldn't run double Snipe. I mean, at least I wouldn't run double Snipe. I wouldn't even run single Snipe in a hunter list. But you never know what's running around these days. I wonder if people are trying things in anticipation of standard and, you know, not playing GVG and other cards. Okay, interesting. Now I'm expecting that. What are you doing? Okay, and I think we do coin out. Although, do I need to coin out the Fire Ellie? I could if I did Pyro coin. No, Pyro coin is very awkward. I think we do coin out the Fire Ellie because a Freezing Trap Fire Ellie is still a pretty good Battlecry effect. It's unlikely I'm going to be able to use it again, but if he plays anything on the board, I can at least challenge that with the Fire Elemental. Okay, let's see how we go. Let's go. Is this going to be a freezing? No, explosive. Interesting. Now, they're probably... No, I was thinking that I probably could have developed the Abusive to deal more damage to his face. And I would have dealt more damage to his face, but the Abusive would have gone down to the Explosive. So, let's see what happens. We're looking pretty good here. I don't know why this Hunter is running so many answers in what appears to be an aggro deck. I'm assuming this is some sort of a strange Reno list again. And we are not developing... We're not developing Bomber. And this is actually... Oh my god. Whoops. I don't know how I misclicked that. That was really... That was really poor. Got to be more careful. Maybe my mouse is on the fritz. Or maybe I'm on the fritz. Yeah. Always consider whether you're on the fritz as opposed to your equipment being on the fritz. Okay, fine. What are you going to charge up? The most dangerous thing is probably a Jungle Panther. That's probably not a bad combo. Turn 8 Tundra Rhino Jungle Panther. Is it Jungle Panther? The one that's stealth. The 3 mana 4/2 stealth. I think that's a good combo because it does so much damage. It's like the Huffer that comes out on turn 8. Guaranteed Huffer that comes out on turn 8. Not too bad. Okay, interesting. This opens up a bit of a Mad Bomber play. Although I think I still will be clearing. Okay, interesting. Are you going to charge with that? Okay. I think I might even spend a Hex. Okay, no, you're not doing that. You're not doing that. Okay. Do I need to spend a Hex? A Hex will be a very neat board clear, and then it leaves me 3 mana. What else am I hexing in this list? I mean, probably High Main. I could also try for a Totem, but then that risks running into the Searing. I could try for a Totem, and if it's the Spell Power Totem, we get a really neat clear. I think I want to be more... I want to play more conservatively here. And again, the healing... There we go. So, if it was the same RNG, it would have been bad for me to try for a Totem. So, at this stage, we're looking pretty good. We've got 4 damage, and we've got an Abusive to kick that up to 6 damage. And here we are, and I think now the problem is the Unleash. So I think we develop this instead of going for the Valiant. This will eat a lot of Unleash dogs, and next turn we buff up 3 totems at once. I think this is more of it's more defensive against Unleash, and I'm sensing some sort of Unleash nonsense. Okay, Lucas. Now, what are we looking at? Is this some sort of... If I go face, I could risk losing my entire board. So let's trade this. Okay, freezing. That's fine, actually, because we now get to do...
I am freed from the curse.
This.
There is a lot at stake here.
And get a very nice clear. And we still have a lot of protection against Unleash now, because you're gonna have to send at least 6 dogs into this. I mean, unbuffed dogs, and then 2 more dogs into this. So yeah, I think we've got this on lockdown. Although deadly into Unleash could have been disastrous. No, we have this on lockdown. It's fine. Okay, all good. Yeah, I think just this my opponent Hunter is just running too many random defensive cards. I don't know what the win condition of this list is. Maybe it's Reno. But Reno by itself, you have to realize Reno is not a win condition. Reno is a defensive play. Okay, let's go into the next game. So, yeah. Okay, I think I'm throwing the Earth Shock back again. And again, I'm still considering whether how well does Earth Shock fit in this list, because it's a very high tempo card. I like to think of it like a Rogue Sap. It's very high tempo, but it doesn't affect the board too much. I mean, the exception being that Shamans can get the Spell Power Totem, in which case, you know, it's quite efficient. And also, you can get the Wild Pyro effect, and it's a Wild Pyro trigger, which also is quite efficient, especially as we've seen with Healing Totem, becomes really, really powerful to do that. Now, I think we developed the Bomber just to get the RNG out of the way. And that wasn't great, but, you know, it's not likely to make a huge difference, especially since it makes my Earthen Ring Farseer play more straightforward. Okay, now, I'm not hexing that. Not worth me hexing. And like I said, Earthen Ring, get the full heal, that's fine. Now, what sort of secrets do we need to watch for? Double secret. Double secret. Argus works. Argus works. A mirror entity onto the Argus isn't great. And a Vaporize doesn't go off unless I go face. So I think, I'm sure at least one of these is mirror entity. Okay, I was wrong. Do we run into face? No, I'd much rather have the Argus run into face to go for the Vaporize. This could also be Death Rattle based secrets, so Duplicate and Mirror and not Effigy and Duplicate. So let's see what we find here. Okay, double Hex. It's a little awkward. Okay, Ice Barrier is fine. Okay, I think this one is a Death Rattle based secret. I think we'll start throwing knives. Because we've already figured out that it's not a mirror entity. We'll just start throwing knives. It's fine. And what else comes out? It could also, it could be an ice block, but it's not an attack based secret, and it's not a minion based secret. Is this Freeze Mage? I wonder, why are you doing that? Because you often need to play Freeze alongside. I'm just gonna throw more knives at you. There's no reason for me to overextend into this. It could well be a Blizzard play. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Doesn't annoy me too much. We didn't overextend into that. Now, Fire Elemental is good. But the Totem gives me a chance. No, I think we have the Fire Elemental here. Totem gives me a chance of going heal and bringing the Earthen Ring out of ping range. But I'm not too concerned. Are you going to ping your own? No, you're not. I don't think you're going to ping your own Acolyte. No, that's fine. Abusive. We could actually Earthshock that thing and just leave it up. Or do I just clear it? Earthshock deprives him of 2 draws. I think it's worth doing. I mean, I could also use a Hex. We do have Hex. I think it actually makes more sense to spend the Hex right now, because we have double Hex in hand. I think it makes more sense, because having an Hex and an Earthshock gives me more options, whereas having a double Hex in hand, not as flexible. So I like to maintain a more flexible hand. Now I'm assuming there's some sort of Antonidas nonsense that's going to come down. Now that doesn't make sense actually, because if you were Antonidasing, you'd keep the coin. Okay, you're going to Alex my face. Interesting. Now we do have a second Hex for that. Although I can, I think I'll just. Ooh. Let's see if this is a Death Rattle based secret. If it's not, okay, it's not. I think we do the clear. I'm pretty sure it's a I'm pretty sure this is a ice block. Now I'm going to need to find my heal bot. Unfortunately we don't have any card draw in hand, so that's not going to come any quicker than I would like it to. There it is. I don't understand why you didn't keep the coin, however. Now that's 1 fireball. I think we can survive the burst of 1 fireball. Especially because of the Hex in hand. So that's exactly what I was saving it for. And now we can Thunder Bluff, Totem up, and go face. I'm pretty sure this is an ice block. We're really going to need our healing. Yeah. Okay, Blood Mage. There might just be enough to finish me. So. Okay, another Blizzard. You're playing defensively again? Interesting. Now, actually, this is fine. The Earthshot pickup is really useful here. Why did you ping yourself? What are you doing? Anyway, so we will eliminate that draw. And I don't think there are many other win conditions left in the Mages list. Although Pyroblast or something silly like that. There's just a lot of burn left. You know, Frostbolt, Ice Lance. What are you doing? Am I just getting BM'd here? Looks like I'm just getting BM'd here. Okay. Okay, that works. I think we Lightning Bolt this and go face. If I develop the Dark Iron, I think we can clear the ice block. because you're down to 7. Yeah, we're definitely going to be able to clear the ice block next turn. I'm really going to need the heal bot. Okay, it's fine. I don't know what you're doing. Then again, I don't really care. Okay.
Not push me.
It's fine. I think we can still pop it. Yeah, it'll be popped with 1 health, 1 armor. That's fine. We can still finish with Fire Elemental. But we could still be dead to... Yeah, I don't know if you're just BMing me for just BM's sake. I don't know why you would bother, really. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why you would bother. Now, we do need our... Is that a second ice block? I think it is. There it is. Okay. Now, I'm not going to develop anything else. We're still dead to Fireball. That's the problem. Yeah. So, my Mage opponent might have already had the win conditions in hand, or we're just done. Because of the double ice block. Wish you wouldn't waste time like that, though. Yeah, there it is. Oh, well. You can play the game how you want it, I guess. So... what is this list's answer to ice block? So the thing is, I think he or she would have definitely had the double ice block in hand and just done, I don't know, whatever, I don't care. You can do whatever you want. Do we do one more? No, I think we're done for today. So let's record another loss. That was sort of neutral. We won 2, we lost 2. That was fine. These things will happen. And what is this list's answer to ice block? I don't think you really have much of an answer to ice block with something like Shaman. I mean, you do have a lot of answers to things like Antonidas and things like things such as Doomsayers with hexes and earth shocks. So that's not too bad, but how do you say? Barring something like a Lotheb and barring just drawing your heal, and I did have 1 set of heals, I didn't have the second. If I had had the anti-heal bot towards the late game, we could have definitely survived that silliness, but that's fine. These things are going to happen. So yeah, I think Ooze comes in. I do want to put an Ooze in. It's not so much that Mage game was a big loss. It was just like bad RNG and, you know, someone being annoying on the Hearthstone ladder. But you choose how to spend your time. If you want to aggravate other people, that's very fine. And I think I will put in an Ooze. And I think the metagame, it really isn't as aggressive as I thought it would be. So I'm going to take a Mad Bomber out for an Ooze. So let's go deck changes. Bomber out, so 40 dust down. Ooze in, and Ooze is 0 dust, costs 0 dust. So we do a net 40 dust down. So Bomber's coming out for Ooze. That should help against, because definitely that first game against Gorhau Warrior made a big difference. Having that Ooze or not having that Ooze made a big difference. So that is the one change I will make. And before we finish up, I will do make the adjustments to the list. So I'll be right back with you guys. Okay, back into things, and hopefully this list is correct. Let me check it. Looks to be. Yep, we've got the Ooze inside, and hopefully this saves. And just to make sure, sometimes, just to make sure, I'm going to have the list hard save into the server by doing a versus AI game. Because sometimes when you make changes to a list and don't actually play a game with them, it seems like the list doesn't get hard saved. And that's why, for example, that we got that issue last time with the game, with me having a list that I had already changed. Anyway, it just should be fine now. It's loaded into game. We can just quickly concede out. I've used this tactic before, especially on tablets and phones. If you do deck modifications. I think this is usually a good idea if you don't intend to play with the deck straight away, but you don't want to lose your modifications. So we should be done with this list, okay, and let's finish up there. Okay, so thanks in advance, guys, for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. I do this for the love, and any gestures of appreciation mean a lot. Hope you're enjoying the budget Shaman climb. It's quite different, and I'm enjoying it too. It's, you know, a very new experience playing a one class, a dedicated, you know, doing a dedicated run on one class. Because often how I play Hearthstone is, you just follow the quest and then play some of Rogue, because, you know, Rogue is my Hearthstone, is the Hearthstone class that I prefer the most. But doing a dedicated Shaman run, I really do like it, and, you know, hopefully Standard will arrive and we can do some more budget climbing. Anyway, so until then, I hope you guys have a lovely weekend and a lovely day. I will be back with some more budget Shaman climbing shortly. So until then, this is No Dust signing off.